Hi everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, we're going to talk about acclaimed film composer Bernard Herrmann. This is a request that has been put in the comment section on multiple videos, and so we're going to talk about him. It's coming up next. Okay, Bernard Herrmann. It says he was born Max Herrmann. Was an American composer best known for his work in composing for motion pictures, which we know. He won Academy Awards for The Devil and Daniel Webster, the Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock movie Psycho. He did the film score for North by Northwest, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and Vertigo. He also composed scores for many other movies, including Citizen Kane, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Ghost, and Mrs. Muir, which I think was an Oscar winner, Cape Fear, and Taxi Driver. He worked extensively in radio drama, composing for Orson Welles, composed the scores for several fantasy films, including The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. Now, some of the pieces that Bernard Herrmann is most known for, things like the theme to Psycho and the cues from that, and North by Northwest and Vertigo, are difficult to deconstruct here on the keyboard to show you. There are some scores available for them, and but I'm going to pick out a few cues that we can actually talk about and a few conceptual elements that he likes to use from piece to piece. The first cue we're going to talk about is from the murder scene from the movie Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock movie. Many of you that are older like me will remember this because you saw the movie way back when it came out. It starts with a really intense... Okay, so it's I hear an A down there, so the high D sharp is happening. Sounds like there's a D sharp being played to start, or an E flat, and then, but there's actually an A if you listen really closely. It's very light. It's almost like it's played by accident as one of the, it's probably played because of the open A string on the violin right next to where they're playing the high D sharp. Probably a couple of the string players accidentally, I'm sure that's what happened actually. You're hearing that A, because they're playing a marcato bowing, which is a marked bowing, which means it's a really unusual accent. It has a arrow that's pointing towards the sky. That's what a marcato bowing is. So probably what happened is they're digging in so hard, they're actually accidentally, a couple of the string players in the first violin section accidentally hit the A string, which Herrmann probably thought sounded great. Yeah, it's about two hits are probably about three players playing that open A string. They're pulling it so hard, they're actually hitting that string as they're playing the high E flat there. So... And then the D sharp and E come in, or E flat and E come in, and then you hear this low E comes in there. After the E comes in, then I hear this D sharp and E, or E flat and E come in down the octave. Listen. There's your low E coming in there. So you've got you start here with an E flat, then you add E to it to create the real distance, then you add the lower E to it, then you add this lower E along with a D sharp down the octave. And then they add F to the cluster. So you've got this cluster of E flat, E, F, and F sharp coming up here, because it goes E, then F, and then down to F sharp, E, F, all played at once. I can't get that D sharp there. I wish I could. I don't know how I can do that. That's tricky. Low F sharp. Then you hear So they add in that low F. So you've got a really expanded cluster, just like in my video where I talk about atonality and clusters, about how to spread them out in multiple octaves. So we've got in that voicing, eventually we have E, E flat or D sharp, E, E flat, and then E, then E and F, then F sharp down the octave, and then F sharp and F. So F sharp, F, E, F, E flat, E, E flat, E. There's a lot of major seventh intervals that are, you got this major seventh interval, you've got the, with a flat seven, but it's just, you're just basically have a cluster that's been blown up over the course of 3 octaves or so. But it gives a real great intensity. Then we add in the low F sharp here. So it's dun, 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 then F and F sharp, and then they bring the F sharp down. Oh yeah, so we've got, along with this, whoa, this is hard to play. I'm not even sure how to play it. Along with this. That is that intro sequence, though. That is a massive cluster. One more time from the top here. That's E, F, F sharp, F down below, then low F sharp. Those are sound like they're actually glissandos into the note to give it a more, even more of an intensity. It's just a quick slide into each note there on those voicings. Okay, the next cue we're going to talk about is the prelude to Psycho, which goes like this. Okay, let's check out the first chord. That is very simply an F augmented chord. So F, F, then A, C sharp, F, A. But it's got some doublings in there. It's hard to spread it out. I'm playing it as a voicing. Then you go to pizzicato B flat. Bum, 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 bum. I'm using this sound with a longer length here because I can't get the other one to speak. So viola is playing that, so it's really going from a minor third to a major third, B flat. And then the melody comes in the violins. So it's F, A flat, F, E, da da ya, F, A flat, E. So F, A flat, E, da da da, da da da, da da da, then da 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 da. Along with your, go on, listen. Oh, even though there are moving lines going on, you're hearing that D flat to D, going from minor to major, and then you hear that all those three things going on at once. It's actually kind of implying the sound of a, to me, of a B flat minor major 7 chord. There's B flat minor. And there's B flat dominant in there too. So you got B flat. I hear that sound. It's kind of the vibe of it. So he's still implying that F augmented or C sharp augmented, same chord, is the same three notes. F, A, C sharp, or F, A, D flat, or D flat, F, A. It's D flat augmented there. Same three notes though. But this time it's over B flat, which gives you a minor major 7 sound. So this next part, I'm hearing a polychord there, or bitonal chord. It's implying a G major over C sharp. So it's a tritone. It's a major chord with a tritone in the bass. Listen to it. Then we're back to that same figure. And then we have sounds like, and then with a moving bass part, but you're hearing this, which would be part of this F augmented, which is kind of like, so then you're back to. So our next theme, which comes in here, is using two different keys. So it begins in B major with a line starting on the 7th, the B Lydian sound. You're hearing this in the string, so it would be the 3rd of B major. If you think of it like this, a B major 7 sound, and you've got, and I hear that note there, so that's implying if you put all those notes together and sound them at once, listen to it. Woo. And then you have over it. If I play B major 7 and I play the line, it's a B Lydian sound, and then it goes to an, which is an E minor cell there, and you can hear in the lower doing that. Going from the E to the G, so you're giving it E minor, and you're going, if you think about it like this, it's very much a jazz line. So we've got B major, major 7 to an E minor. So two key centers happen there, B major or B Lydian to E minor. What's cool about this is to take these linear ideas that he has, where he's going, or he's going like this, and he's got these lines over them, and break them into their chord progressions. You can obviously hear there's a major 7 sound there, and right in the melody starts on the major 7th. And then you get your minor 7. So those two key centers, B major to E minor, are very closely related. This B major 7th chord. You think about voice leading, because you really have an E flat minor or a D sharp minor in B major 7. And that flows up by half step to that E minor sound. Now they sound like they're not really connected, but they really are. It's really voice led well, but it's disguised. Right? And then you hear okay, the next cue we're going to talk about is from Vertigo. It's the Prelude. Now this should sound familiar. So we have this time an E flat minor major 7 chord. Moved in opposite directions. You have them in both hands here, so you've got in different directions. And then hear that the B flat and D flat up there, so you've got, and then he sneaks in this D flat while the D natural's going in. And then, bam, the French horn comes in with a really loud D. So we hear this. That's played along with this E flat minor major 7, I should say. You have E flat minor major 7, E flat, G flat, B flat, D. And then the violins come in with that, and then the French horn comes in with the D natural there. This is really sophisticated stuff, but really not that. You're noticing this. If you're noticing this augmented sound in there, this is an F sharp augmented chord that's right smack in the middle. So this is 2 pieces in a row. He's used this minor major 7 sound. And that is that sound of that kind of Hitchcock sound of that era, is that minor major 7th chord there. That's from the melodic minor scale or the harmonic minor scale, mainly from the melodic minor scale. It's the 1 chord. In this case, it would be E flat melodic minor, but you have, this would be E flat minor 7, E flat minor major 7, but it has an augmented triad, an F sharp or G flat augmented triad over E flat. And then in just going right along with it in the opposite direction. A lot of these dissonances creating clusters. Along with, you got that D, which is part of that minor major 7th chord. But this note here, this D flat, is not. So it creates that half step up there, up at the top of the chord with the major 7th of the E flat minor major 7th chord. So you really essentially have that sound. I'll play it down the octave so you can hear it. So you got minor 7 and major 7th together. It's a really cool sound. It gives it a real ambiguous vibe, and it reminds you of those kind of soundtracks. So da da, and then the violins go E flat up to G flat. I should say. Which is a fragment of the whole tone scale. And then it resolves to this B augmented chord, still with a G flat on top. Check it out. And we're back to a. Now you notice that when this resolves down there, he drops in the E flat to go with the D natural to create that flat 9 or that minor 2nd interval, which really creates a lot of tension in there. So you've got the E flat minor major 7th arpeggio. Then you come in with a big bass note on the tonic of that, and then when that drifts down, the violins come in with the E flat to oppose it, to create that flat 9 interval. Listen. When it drops to D, or as soon as it drops to D, that E flat pops in. Right here. And I hear that, you know, I hear that G pop in there also. So I'm hearing this. Well, while the arpeggio's going on, he also sneaks a G natural in there, which gives it another different flavor because of the distance between the G flat and the G natural. So there's a lot of things happening here. You've got that interval, then you have that there, and then you have that going on. A lot of clusters with the ostinato minor major 7 thing, pedaling over that. That kind of creates that mysterious mood that he's overlaying these other things in there, like the root to the major 7, and then creating those intervals, those wide flat 9s that really, really add the tension to it. So I think it's a really cool sound, the whole intro to this. You hear the tremolo violin. So you're hearing a lot of these augmented sounds. You're hearing a lot of these things where we've got these fragments of these whole tone scales and augmented sounds. So right here is part of the whole tone scale. It could be. Right here we have B major and B augmented at the same time. But really, he's looking for those intervals, those major 7th intervals, the ambiguous whole tone sounds, you got that augmented chord there, you have an augmented sound here, you have an augmented sound here. The minor major 7th chord is a really great balance of a minor chord and an augmented sound. So it's kind of like a minor chord that's a little bit out of whack. I love the minor major 7 sound. Very commonly used in jazz. You'll hear it in songs like My Funny Valentine. There's many songs that use minor major 7th chords. They're usually used in line cliches. You honestly hear them in Stairway to Heaven. It's called a line cliche when you go from a minor chord to a minor major 7 to a minor 7 to a minor 6, which is implying like a D7 chord or D9 chord, and then in Stairway to Heaven they go to F major 7 there. But these line cliches, these minor major 7th chords were really common in jazz at the time, and you started seeing them pop up in these orchestrations, and a lot of times that mood is created from that augmented chord that's contained within the minor major 7. In one of my last episodes when we were talking about clusters, the theme to the Twilight Zone is full of this atonal cluster writing. This is a really good study that I'm going to come back to in my next episode on this. I'm going to have to do a few episodes on Bernard's music and writing. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. I'm Rick Beato.